Okay, so this is Solving Nonlinear Systems Day 2, which will be using technology, aka our TI 83 or 84 graphing calculator, so that we can solve systems of nonlinear equations. Okay, so could we use Desmos? Yes, but we're not going to. Why? Because the whole point of teaching you this is how to utilize the TI 83 or 84, because that's a calculator that you can use in the SAT, ACT. So that's why we want to make sure that we know how to use this calculator. So that's what we're teaching you here. Okay. So we are going to use our calculator. We're going to use the graphing utility on our calculator, which you go into y equals to do that. So first off, each of your equations has to be solved for y. If you look at the equations in number 1, they're both solved for y. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down what we're going to type in our calculator before we actually do it. So we have y equals, and then the first one is 2/3 x plus 2. Whenever you put a fraction in your calculator, it should be in a parentheses. So you're going to do 2/3 like that, then x plus 2. And then for your second equation, you're just going to do square root of 4 minus x squared, just how it's written. Okay? Now a parentheses might open up on your square root in your calculator. Just close it if it does. If one doesn't open up, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we're going to go to our calculator. We're going to hit y equals. It's in the upper left-hand corner. Then you're going to type parentheses 2 divided by 3, close the parentheses, x plus 2. Then in y2, you're going to type the square root of, so mine looks like that. If your parentheses opens, that's fine. You just close it when you're done. 4 minus x squared. And then I'm going to hit the right button just to get out of my square root. Okay, so now you want this to graph on your normal -10 to 10, -10 to 10 graph paper. If your graph does not show up on that, then we can fix the window. But to set it up for success, you're going to hit zoom. Option number 6 is standard. That's the -10 to 10x, -10 to 10 y axis. So I'm going to hit zoom 6, or you can toggle down. There's the line being graphed, and then there, I can zoom in so you can actually see it like that, but I'll show you how to zoom in on your calculator. There you can see that's the top half of a circle. Okay? So it's not, there's the bottom half is not there, and it's not there because we didn't do plus or minus square root of 4 minus x squared. Okay, so now I want to find the points of intersections. So if you look at it right now, it's kind of hard to see. So what I want to do is I want to, no. This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard with not being in person, but it's okay. All right, so because it's hard to see that even where it's touching the graph, I'm going to zoom in. To do that, you hit the zoom button. Then option number 2 is in. So you can hit 2, but then you have to hit enter, and it's at 0, 0 right now, so it's going to zoom in towards 0, 0, just so you can see it a little bit better. There's the line, and then this is much better, right? Now it does look like an ellipse and not a circle right now. But if you look, it goes up 2, right 2, and left 2. So you know that it's a circle. But it's because your screen is rectangular, that's why it looks like it's an ellipse. We could change it so that it's a square, but I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, so let's draw a sketch of this first. So there's my y-axis. Here's my x-axis. And then I'm just going to draw each one of what I see. So I see, and do it in a different color so that it sticks out here. I have that semicircle, and then I have the line. So the line looks like it hits right here, and then just above right there, and then I'll draw a line going through that. Okay, it's pretty good for a sketch, right? It's not the worst I've seen. Look at how I fixed it. What was that? Okay, so I want to find those 2 points. Those are my solutions, okay? So I can clearly see that this one right here on my calculator, if you look at your calculator screen, that's at 0, 2. But I don't want to just assume it. Okay, so let's find it. So here's how you find the intersection of that semicircle and that line. So you're going to hit second, which is the blue button on mine. And then on the buttons on the top, it goes y equals Windows, zoom, trace. You're going to hit trace. Now, the reason you're hitting trace is because you actually want to use the calculate. Option number 5 is intersection, so you can hit 5. Now, if you can see the intersection on your screen, which I can, there's 2 different ones. Whichever one it's closest to, it's going to find first. So if you hit enter, 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 you have to hit it 3 times. It's going to find that intersection, and it tells you that it's at 0, 2. 0, 2. That's one of them. Okay. Now we're going to get closer, 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 closer. What the heck? Second quit. Now we're going to hit second trace. I got closer for no reason. And now we're going to find the other intersection. We're going to hit on number 5. And now we're going to get closer, closer, closer. So we're going to move left. And it's going to toggle, 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 toggle towards that. And then we're going to hit enter, enter, enter. As soon as you're close enough, it'll find the one it's closest to. So my second answer, my second point of intersection is negative 1.85. Actually, we're going to do 3 decimal places because of pre-calc. We do 2 for a lot of things in integrated, so that's why I said that. And then comma 0.769. So we're going to always do 3 decimal places in pre-calc unless it's money. Okay? All right, the diagrams get a little bit more complicated as we go, so please don't say like, okay, I get it, that's enough. All right, here's our next set of equations. Remember, it has to be solved for y. This first equation is not solved for y, so to get y by itself, I can get rid of the 1/2 by multiplying both sides by 2. So times 2 times 2, that'll cancel. That'll be y equals 2x. So I'm going to, in y1, I'm going to put y equals and then 2x. This needs to be solved for y, so to get y by itself, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, and I get y equals x squared minus 2x. So even before you start, you can see that you're going to get a line and a parabola, right? Like, oh yeah, that's a line and a parabola, I can tell. All right, we're going to go y equals clear, toggle down, hit clear again. You don't want to type over things, you just want to start over. So 2x. X, once again, is located right below the mode button. And then x squared minus 2x. Now, I can't just hit the graph button because I zoomed in on the last problem. If I didn't, then I could hit graph. But since I zoomed in, I have to hit zoom standard again, zoom 6. There's the line, and then there's my parabola. So let's do a sketch of what that looks like. I think that's pretty easy. I don't think I need to zoom in. So y-axis, x-axis. Okay, so I have a line that's going through 0, 0 with a slope of 2. That's good. Okay, and then I also have this parabola, which it looks like it hits at 0, 0, but I'm not positive. And then it hits somewhere like right here, and then I'll just draw the parabola-ish going like that. Remember, it's a sketch. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Okay. All right. So actually, you know what I want to do is I want to get rid of this y-intercept here, or sorry, this x-intercept. I didn't mean to do that. I want to get rid of that. Let's go back. Get rid of that other x-intercept and make it smaller because I don't want my brain to think that it's a solution. Okay, so I'll go like that again. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so I have 2 solutions. This right here, whatever this is, hopefully it's 0, 0. Or not hopefully, but it looks like 0, 0, and then this is another solution. Okay, let's find those. So once again, you hit second trace, which is going to give you calculations. Option number 5 is intersection. Whatever one it's closest to right now, so it's closest to this one on my calculator, it'll find that first. So I'm going to do enter, enter, enter. And it tells me the intersection is 0, 0. That's great. Now I'm going to get closer to the other one, but first I have to reset. I got to start it over. I'm going to hit second, calculate. Option number 5 is intersection, and now I'm going to get closer to that. So I'm toggling to the right, and now I'm closer to this one. You can go past it or you can go in front of it. It doesn't matter, just closer to that one. So when you're hitting enter, 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 it's saying, am I on the first curve? The first curve is not technically a curve, it's the line. So yes, you are. You're on y equals 2x. It tells you on the top left-hand corner. When you hit enter again, it says now am I on the second curve? And if you look at the top left-hand corner, it says you're on y2, which is x squared minus 2x. So you hit enter because you're answering yes. And then it said, should I guess the intersection between these two? And you hit yes one more time or enter one more time. And it tells you that one is at 4, 8. Okay, So it says now we will use Desmos on our iPad to solve each of these systems. We're going to do that last. I'd rather just get these, especially in the video, get these other two done and then go back and show you how to do it in Desmos. Okay, number 3. It's not solve for y in either equation, so I have to solve for y. So I think instead of subtracting x squared, subtracting 1, I can keep x squared and 1 on this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3y squared to both sides, right? Because then it'll be off this side. So then you'll have x squared plus 1 is equal to 3y squared. And now it's easier to get y by itself, right? Divide both sides by 3. And then square root to solve. So you have y squared is equal to x squared plus 1 over 3. I'm about to square root to solve. So square root. Don't forget plus or minus. Square root plus or minus. And you have y equals positive square root of x squared plus 1 over 3. And then y equals negative square root of that whole stuff. Okay, so you actually have two different things. There is no plus or minus button in your calculator, so you have to write them in separately. So for y1, we'll do the positive one. We'll do square root of x squared plus 1 over 3. And then we also have, I'm going to do this. This is so smart. I love the iPad sometimes. Paste, but we're going to do negative. Okay. Now remember, whenever there's a fraction, you have to be very careful with the calculator. Since there's a fraction and there's a numerator and a denominator and there's two things in the numerator, you're going to want to put your numerator in parentheses, okay, when you type it in your calculator. Okay. Our next equation let me just change colors so that I can distinguish what's what. I need to solve for y squared. Okay, so I'm just going to make it easier by subtracting 4y squared from, actually I want to keep it positive. So I'll keep 4y squared on this side, and then I'll subtract 2x squared from both sides, and I'll add 16 to both sides. Because I would like to keep this coefficient positive just like I kept it here. It's just easier typing it in your calculator. All right, divide both sides by 4. And now you have to square root to get y by itself. So I'm going to square root plus or minus. Don't forget positive, negative. So now I have two more equations that I have to put in my calculator. I have, ooh, that's not, hold on, I got an idea. Watch this. Let's see. I'm just going to pinch it to make it smaller. There we go. Okay. All right, I have square root of, and then this is negative 2x squared plus 16 over 4. Okay. Once again, you're going to have to put the numerator in parentheses. And then we also need the opposite of that. So I'm going to use my copy and paste feature here again. Copy, paste. And I'll just put a negative in front right there. Okay, so there's 4 things that I have to type into my calculator. So I'm going to go to y equals. Okay, y equals. Oh, I got to turn it on first. There we go. Y equals. Clear out what's in there, clear out what's in there. Now be very careful when typing. Square root of. And then I'm going to do parentheses. X squared plus 1. Close the parentheses, divided by 3. Oops, divided by 3. Okay. Then I also have to, I wish there was copy and paste in the calculator because I have to retype that, but with a negative in front. Make sure you don't use the minus. Make sure you use the negative, which is in the bottom of your calculator. Square root of, parentheses, x squared plus 1. Close it, divided by 3. Oh, it looks like I forgot my x. So I can toggle over here and hit X. X. Why isn't it showing up? Second, insert. X. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'll be slower at typing and catching my mistakes now. Okay, so now I'm going to type in y3, which is square root of, parentheses, negative, make sure you're not typing minus, 2x squared, and then plus 16. Close the parentheses, divided by 4. And then here, negative square root of, open parentheses, negative 2x squared plus 16, close the parentheses, divided by 4. Okay, now my calculator's already, like, I didn't zoom in or zoom out, so I can just hit the graph button. It'll graph them in the order that you typed them in. But before we do that, let's think about what's going to happen, okay? Let's think about what these are here. So if you look at this first one here, it has an x squared and a y squared, and there's subtraction separating it. So this first part's going to be a hyperbola, hyperbola, okay? So I know this is going to be a hyperbola. The next one right here, it has an x squared and a y squared, addition separating. And then if you look, the coefficients are different. So this is going to be an ellipse. So what I'm going to get here is a hyperbola and an ellipse. Now, what you have to realize is that this is going to be either the top or the right, depending on if that's left. What am I doing? Depending on if it's facing vertically or horizontally. And then this is going to be the bottom or the left. For your ellipse, this will be the top and the bottom, okay, because it's positive and negative values. So I'm going to erase this because I don't know which one it is yet. And I'm going to hit graph, and I'm just going to watch. Ready? Hit graph, and it'll do it one piece at a time. And I'm going to say it out loud when it happens. All right, so it looks like the top of an ellipse and the bottom, or sorry, hyperbola, top, bottom. Okay, so this is this. Hold on, I'm just going to do this, sketch it right next to it. That's this. That's this. And that's this part of the ellipse, and then this, right? So I know what's what, okay? It's like my little key over there. All right, so I'm going to do a sketch now. Oh, goodness, here we go. I got to draw my two axes. Okay. All right, I'm going to do my best here. So I have this. That wasn't horrible. Okay. And this. That wasn't horrible. Great. All right, and then I have, like, it looks like it is an ellipse. We already just established that. Oh, gosh, mine's a little crooked. I'm going to be okay with it, though. I can't be okay with it. I have to do a little better. Oh, that's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Okay, so I have 4 points of intersection. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I need to find those 4 points of intersection. All right, here we go. I'm going to do second, calculate. Option number 5 is intersection. So you have to just pick one to start to find. I'll find this one first, so I'll go closer to it. All right, so you have to look at where you are, okay? You are on Y1, okay? And it tells you at the top of your screen there that you're on Y1. So you want to find out the intersection of Y1 and realize this is not Y2 right here. This is Y3. This is Y2, and this is Y4, right? So I want to find the intersection of Y1 and Y3. So do I have my first curve? Yes. Hit enter. Do I have my second curve? No, because it went down to Y2. So what I want to do is I want to toggle up or down. I want to get to Y3. So I want to hit down because that's what's next. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it's going to pop me back up to Y2 or Y3. Now, if you look at the top of your screen, you're at Y3. Now I can hit enter because I'm on the right thing and it says guess. Hit enter. And it tells me that that point's at 2.10, nope, 2.097, 2.098, 2.098, comma, 1.342. Now, if you missed how I did that, let's find another one. Second, calculate intersection. All right, I'm going to follow along and get closer to another point of intersection. Okay, so I'm going to get closer to this one over here. Right here. I'm going to find this one now. All right, so I'm already on Y1. That's great. I'm going to hit enter. But then notice I jumped to Y2. And I want to be on Y3, which is the top part of the ellipse. So I'm going to hit down. And it says, are you at your second curve? Well, I don't even see it right now. So I'm going to say, you are on Y3, but where are you? So there we go. So I needed to move it a little bit. And now I see it flashing right there. And I can hit enter. And then hit enter one more time. And it's at negative 2.098, comma, 1.342. Okay, and in case you missed it, let's find another one, and then we could probably figure out where the other ones are. Okay, second intersection, option number 5. Now, right now I'm on Y1, and I don't need to be on Y1 anymore. I need to be on Y2, so I'm going to hit the down button. Now I'm on Y2, and I'm really close to this intersection, so I'm going to hit enter. But then it jumped me up to Y3, and I need to be at Y4, so I'm going to hit the down button again, and now I'm at Y4. So it's really close to that one. Hit enter. It says guess, please do. And that is at negative 2.098, comma, negative 1.342. So I think we can figure out where this one is without the help of our calculator, right? If you look, this was positive, positive. This was negative, comma, positive. This was negative, negative. And this is going to be positive, negative. So 2.098, comma, negative 1.342. Right, because this is a symmetric graph. Okay, the very last one, and then we'll see how this looks in Desmos. Has to be solved for y, so divide by x. So we have y equals 4 over x. Remember, it's a fraction, so you're going to want to put it in parentheses. And then this one, solve it for y, so subtract x squared from both sides. Y squared equals negative x squared plus 16, and then square it to solve. So we have y equals plus or minus square root of negative x squared plus 16. All right, so my other two are square root of negative x squared plus 16 and the opposite of that, negative x squared plus 16. Okay, time to put this in our calculator. So we're going to go to y equals, clear, 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 clear. Go to y1. Parentheses 4, parentheses 4 divided by x, close parentheses, down. Square root of negative x squared plus 16, down. Negative square root of negative x squared plus 16. You can just hit the graph button because you didn't change anything. All right, so we have that hyperbolic branches right there, and then we have something that looks like an ellipse, but if I look at the equation, I know it's a circle, right? So we have that rational function and then a circle. So it has branches, but they're angled. I can sketch that. Here's my axes, which didn't show up nice. Let's do that again. There's my two axes, okay. All right, so you have, it's the rational function that has a vertical asymptote at x equals 0, a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So you have these two branches, like so. That's not pretty, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And then we have a circle. All right, it looks kind of like an ellipse, but that's because of the stretch of the screen. Oh, look, see, I even wanted it to be a circle. Okay, so we have 4 solutions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at these are symmetric again. So if I figure out what these two are, I can figure out what these two are, right? Because this is just, these are both going to be positive, positive, and those are both going to be negative, negative. So let's figure it out. So second, calculate. Option number 5, which is intersection. All right, right now I'm on y equals 4 over f. So I'm on this right here right now. I'm in y1. But I can't see anything flashing, so I'm going to start toggling to the right or to the left so that appears. Still nothing. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to find this point first because that's what it's the closest to right now. So I'm going to hit enter because I'm good. And then it jumped to this part right here of the circle, which is good because that's where I need it to be. So I'm going to hit enter again. And then should I guess? Yes. So my first point is 1.035, comma, 3.864. All right, now I'm going to find the one that's close to that. So I'm going to hit second, trace, option number 5, which is intersection, and I'm going to get closer to it. So I'm closer, right? Hit enter. Get closer to, oops, a little too close. There we go, get closer to it. Hit enter. Should I guess? Yes. And that is 3.864, comma 1.035. That looks like a time, but I can fix it. Okay. All right, so if you want to find the other two, you can realize that they are symmetric, but if you don't, hit second calculate, option number 5, which is an intersection. I'm on Y1, and that's fine because I still need to be on Y1, but I need to be on that other piece on the left. So I'm going to keep toggling until I keep toggling to the left until it pops up there. Okay, so now I can find any of these points. I was closer to this one first, so I'll find that one. Hit enter. Now it's on Y2, which I need to be on Y3, so I'm going to hit the down button. And now it's close to it. Hit enter. Should I guess? Yes. And as you can see, it's negative 1.035, comma 3, negative 3.864. So now you can notice that it's symmetric, and notice that this one is negative 3.864, comma negative 1.035. Okay? All right, so now let me show you Desmos and how Desmos is so much easier. Okay, but once again, don't use Desmos in your homework because the whole point is, can you use your calculator? All right, so let me get Desmos opens with split screen here. All right, we'll do the one that was the hardest, and you can see how easy it is on Desmos. Okay, so this one, number 3, was definitely by far the most difficult to navigate. So here's how Desmos works. Desmos, you don't have to have it solved for y equals. You can literally type it in exactly the way it looks. So it says x squared. You hit the x, and then you have to square it, which is using that a to the second power, minus 3y squared, plus 1, the equal sign, 0. And there's your hyperbola. Then you just click right below that, and you type in 2x squared plus 4y squared minus 16 equals 0, and it'll graph that ellipse there for you. All right, so now if you look at it, here's what it looks like, right? I don't need this over here in my equation, so here's what it looks like, exactly what we drew down here. So how do you find those intersections? It's no second, calculate, intersection, none of that stuff. Okay, so here are our answers. Here how you find it. Here's how you find them. You literally click on the intersection. Boom. Okay, boom. And it tells you where they are. Boom, boom, boom. And it tells you where the points are. Isn't that great? Don't we wish Desmos was available onto us on a handheld calculator so we could use